Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah. Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 139 of LaCroix with Tommy and Tanner.
Refreshing.
Today we're having a nice pamplemousse flavored LaCroix.
That is a real flavor?
It has parentheses grapefruit underneath the pamplemousse.
Does it normally say that?
I don't know. That's
weird.
I'm not really sure. Someone recommended. You said lime was.
I like lime a lot. Yeah.
Someone said key lime. If you like lime, you need to try the key lime.
Okay, maybe even a little sweeter.
Yeah.
A little tang at the end there.
Yep. If you thought the lime flavor was just a bursting sensation in your mouth, you
just
need to
wait for this one to kick you in the teeth.
Yep. So we are on episode 139, and first thing I guess we could say is we wanted to shoot out a big thank you to everyone. We just got through our
big thank you.
Yeah, our Thanksgiving weekend, our Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, like all those
greatest discount of all time.
And what happened was we sold more Massenomics stuff in one day than we have ever in one day. More in a weekend than we ever have in a weekend. We had a lot of people that we put our lift short discount for 25 cents off each pair of lift shorts.
It was a generous discount.
Yeah. And granted, it cost us a little bit on each order. We weren't making much money after taking that 25 cents off. But we sold a lot of pairs, so that was pretty cool. We got to kind of sit back and watch the orders ding in on our phones.
It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome because you're selling stuff, but we also had a lot of new stuff come out. And whenever you have something new come out, it's always, do people even care about this?
Yeah.
Like, are we totally guessing? Do we have any idea? I don't know. Let's see what happens. And so to have, one, be selling things, and then two, people like the new things and like have positive comments about them, that's exciting to see.
It is.
Makes me think, maybe we do know you guys a little bit.
Right. And I think we're getting our heads wrapped around that a little bit better of what does work, what does work well for us.
After 4.5 years of guessing, you get a few guesses kind of right once in a while.
Because we did have say something like our Massenomics is numero uno shirt, which I thought when we made that, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Great. Yeah, I was like, I love this shirt. This makes me laugh every time I look at it. And we probably ordered 50 of them and still have some around. You can still buy one.
Yeah, and the shirt, I don't have any problem with the shirt.
No,
I still think it's a nice shirt. And I still, if you're like, why doesn't it sell? I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was never a very popular shirt.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, I would say that it doesn't have the universal appeal of a certain adult beverage maybe, but
right.
There's certain things we'll never understand.
No, that's right. So we did come out with the 3 new sweatshirts that are all for sale now. And
if you're watching the video, you'll see Tanner and I
we both have this one.
Sporting the eagle very proudly here.
Yep. The camo, the lift in the crew neck, and then we don't have it here, but the bench heavy in the hoodie also. They're all really comfortable.
Yeah. Sweatshirts are primo. These things are nice.
And we like you said we've sold some of all of them, so it is good to know that.
So yeah, we didn't as far as we know so far, we didn't totally mess up on any of them. People seem to take pretty positively to all of them.
Yep. And we talked about it earlier today, but our timeline out we've spilled the beans already that we're going to the Arnold and we have a booth there, so everything that we're doing, we're kind of trying to gauge and judge what exactly we're going to be needing to do to
hedge
bring
our bets a little bit, you could say,
for when we are at the Arnold. So this was an encouraging weekend, I would say, for that as far as we're concerned, where we're sitting, because already spent a bunch of money to have a booth at the Arnold without having any idea if anyone's
Believe it or
gonna
not,
buy
those
anything.
things aren't cheap.
No.
They don't give them away.
So it was a good sign for us to see that much stuff moving over just one weekend.
Yeah.
And it's just fun, like not the money side of it, but just the
to like actually get a reaction out of
people.
Yeah,
right. That people are wanting to.
Because here's the other thing too, that if you guys have ordered, you've probably noticed. If you haven't ordered, pay attention for when you do. But when you buy stuff, there's a comments box. It just says order information, additional comments. Some people will put like, "Hey, I'm apartment whatever," or just something regarding the order. But then a fair amount of people like to leave kind of a dumb comment or a story in there, and we love those things.
Those are the best.
If you guys see that in there, like we got a lot of them over the weekend. Like they went from compliments to like stories to everything.
One guy was deployed overseas, and he bought like 3 different shirts and had them sent to his brother, who is in the States. And he had us leave him a special note for his brother about which shirts he's allowed to touch, and like if he touches his shirts, then he's gonna get stabbed when he gets home or something like that, you know.
So we love that stuff when you guys leave that in there, and seeing that makes it feel like, oh, okay, these people get it.
We also gave away a lot of koozies and stickers over the weekend too. So
and the koozies and stickers are always fan favorites.
I'm actually regretting that I forgot my koozie right now. This can is pretty cold, but if I have it,
this basement's pretty cold too, so I wouldn't be too worried if I were you.
Luckily, I've got this sweatshirt.
There you go. Wrap it up.
We've got more new apparel in the works that we're already. We just got this stuff out, but we already are working on doing more.
Yeah, we've kind of been sitting on some ideas for a while, and now that we see, people like them, we should probably quit sitting on these things and get them out to the world. So, very early teaser, but there will be more coming.
Yep. So stay tuned. In December here, we'll hopefully have some other new designs that you've never even seen before that are out for sale. So I'm excited about that. Again,
it's going to be a good Christmas.
Yeah. And I, however, have a closet and drawers full of Massenomics clothing that is like
I could just go like between laundry only wearing Massenomics things, and then like not even have to worry about doing laundry again and still be wearing Massenomics things.
That is very true.
And pair up my Massenomics things with Massenomics things, you know. Take off my Massenomics sweatshirt and hat to reveal my Massenomics T-shirt underneath.
Yep.
Not a bad problem to have.
No, it's good.
You know,
that's what I'm doing right now.
Shows the dedication.
Yeah.
I actually have this one paired up with the Les Keys shirt, so shout out Les Keys.
Yeah, good choice. Also,
shows you like strength.
I have put the Les Keys shirt in my rotation of shirts. It's on the top level of the drawer.
That's the thing is, once the shirt enters the top level, it's going to be there for a long time until either you go so deep on laundry or something weird happens and start shaking things up.
Something weird happens, and like 2 years later, you're like, wait, whatever happened to that shirt? And then you find it, and you're like, oh, yeah.
I just had this the other day where I had actually gone a really long time without doing laundry. And I went in, I'm like, what happened to this shirt? It's been here the whole time. And it was only like 5 shirts below the normal rotation.
Yeah.
Like it was, but that's enough to just bury it to never be seen again.
Yep. What is the USAPL news? I don't know if I fully understand it. And
so I haven't kept super up to date with this because it just seems like USAPL, IPF, there's always something to the point where it's like almost like you guys are just shooting yourselves in the foot. Like this is getting annoying and old because the whole point of this is for people to lift weights. And like, let's make this as complicated as possible as we can. And this is coming from someone that prefers to compete in USAPL meets. Like, it's just always something. But last week when I saw the post, it was something along the lines of the IPF was upset with the USAPL about their drug testing, the actual testing, like the actual testing process. And I believe it was along the lines of they were upset because the USAPL wasn't sending all of their results to an actual like WADA certified lab. I believe what they were doing is sending it to third-party labs that were, I think, running the WADA panel, like testing for the same things WADA does, but it wasn't actually WADA doing it. And So this was apparently a big no-no.
And the people even like at the USAPL meets taking the samples.
Yeah, I think technically they even
like
need
they're
to be,
having USAPL judges do it, and that you have to actually be like WADA,
like connected to WADA in some way.
Right.
Which seems like, wow, well, that will never work in a big
No.
country. Like, I don't know how that ever could.
Well, in USAPL, I know their goal, disregarding this, was to test, or not even goal, it's what they did, I think, was, randomly test 10% of the people competing in every meet. Mm-hmm. So that's a decent chunk of
and I think that was
people.
kind of their argument, is that we test more than anyone else. Like, we spend more on testing than anyone else.
Yeah.
And now, so the whole story then is, for IPF not being happy for how the USAPL is doing their testing, is they, I believe, are just suspending all drug testing. Like, drug testing is not happening. And I don't know, like I said, I haven't checked on this for a week. I don't know if anything's been determined since then, but at the time it was all drug testing is on hold, and anyone that's failed the drug test or is being suspended for failing a drug test is welcome back in. So that seems so stupid. Like,
it's like in a Batman movie when like the Joker breaks into
and the jail's open.
Yeah, and it's like all the cons like flood the streets like
we're free. So it would be actually, it's almost just like, okay, yeah, let's have some people be like, screw it, I don't care, and then just go in and just destroy some records and be like, yep, IPF has to live with that now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how that would.
That, to me, it just, if you just think about it logically, like what is better, just because considering the cost of the testing, they say the cost is going to be like 10 times more expensive per test to do the
and then on top of that, how many WADA officials can you get to a meet? Even how many WADA officials are going to come to a meet in South Dakota? Like,
right. It just, the logistics of it don't make sense.
Yep.
But then also, if it's 10 times more expensive, and if the USAPL is working off of the same budget that they were before,
it should be very obvious that, this company does not exist.
Well, yeah, and it would mean that they're going to test 1/10 of the people that they were before. So instead of testing 10% of the lifters to the standards they are now, they test 1% to a really high standard.
Yeah.
What's better? Like, because I think most people would agree before that the standard that they are using was at least reasonably good. Like, for what I know, they caught people, I think, a lot of times that weren't passing tests.
They seem to give you, I don't know the actual numbers, but also give the impression that they test more than any other country.
Right.
I mean, without a doubt, in sheer volume of tests, they do. But I think from a percentage standpoint, they also test a higher percentage than anyone else.
So isn't testing a higher testing 10 times as many to maybe just a slightly less official standard? Isn't that better? If your goal is to be a drug-free organization, isn't that better than testing 1%? Because then you're just like someone can just be like, well, what are the chances? I'm not going to be the 1 in 100 people that gets tested. Like, I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, that logic makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
This thing I don't think makes sense to any logical person,
No.
But I suppose if you are the head of a political organization, that's goal is to maybe help lifters, maybe not. Maybe it makes more sense to you, but
yeah.
The whole thing just seems so backwards, and it seems like, why are we even, like, how is this even a conversation? I think they even went as far as to say that I believe the USAPL's slogan is like the preferred drug-free powerlifter or something. It's something, they use the words drug-free in their slogan, and I think the IPF even said that we do not want you to use the words drug-free in your slogan anymore. Which, again, makes no sense. It's crazy.
What would be funny is if like Larry Wheels and
Ed Cohn comes back just to do one, just to be like
all these guys that are obviously
like banned or in trouble for some reason. Right. Just be like, well, what are you gonna do about it? And just watch them just the whole thing crumble on itself.
But we're talking USAPL. So USAPL nationals would be in that conversation, but if you qualified for worlds from IPF, but then you'd be back into the WADA testing
would think,
or whatever. Yeah.
Assuming they're going to test you, though.
But really, like, what is it? I guess, like, the testing's important, but outside of, like, those people that actually are competitive at the national level, like those are the people that need to be, if if their goal is for the whole sport to look like official and everything, like those are the key ones to be testing anyways, I think. Like catching the people at the local meets, it's just like you're just I don't know. To me it's just like,
I mean, yeah, you might catch some people, but they're not going to make it lay
No,
out.
right.
Like, these no-name people aren't going to go anywhere.
Right.
You just caught people doing things for no reason than to think that
right, for no good reason.
Yeah, I mean, really for no good reason.
Right, yeah, no good reason.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they have reasons themselves, but
yeah, it's I don't know. One of my favorite memes was like frustrated strength coach. They always have. I feel like very timely and relevant memes. There's a lot of Instagram accounts out there that make lifting memes and to varying degrees of success.
powerlifting motivation.
Yeah. But some accounts have memes that are like, I don't even know if the people that run this account even lift. Or have ever competed or any, like I think they just spend a lot of time on the internet.
It's just a you're making fun of sumo deadlifting or
sumo deadlift meme. Classic. benching curling in the squat rack meme. Never seen that one.
But frustrated strength coach and frustrated strength athlete.
They're both very good.
Both excellent.
Because you can tell, these guys actually lift and they get it.
Yes, their hashtag is make powerlifting memes great again.
Yep.
And they do.
And I'm not saying we've never been guilty of not having a good meme. We've probably thrown some ones out there that are like, well, but I think we hit more than we miss.
We have a lot of.
At the very least, we have some originality that most people can't see.
Real recognizes real because both of those accounts follow our account and frequently share our stuff and so they know that we're on the.
And probably the biggest one, we don't take other people's memes and put our watermark on them.
Never. We cannot. I can honestly say I don't think we've ever. I mean, it's tricky how to explain that. We use other stuff for our memes, but we don't use other memes to make our meme.
Yeah, we don't take a meme that exists in its entirety and either crop off someone's name or put our name on it.
Right.
Which, if you pay attention even for a second, and again, we're getting more into this than most people will ever care, but if you pay attention even for a second, you'll see most of the big accounts will routinely rip their memes or their posts in general from someone else.
Yep.
And then when that person complains, they'll say something like, well, I'm a bigger account, screw you, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks that that's what it comes to, this probably sounds like whiny internet drama, but those are also the people that are getting their more eyes on the sport.
Right.
And those are the people that, they're getting more eyes on the sport and they really don't care or even know much about it is kind of the sad part.
Right.
So now that we've covered the intricacies of meme ripoffs.
Well, and here's something kind of this will be out by then. We're going to post this before then, and this is something that we had talked about earlier this week, and this is one that we're going to post, and it's basically just says knee sleeves have become the norm for raw squats. It's acceptable in USAPL. Almost every federation has a knee sleeve division, and that's called raw.
Yep.
So the question is, should or when should elbow sleeves be allowed for the bench press and be considered raw? And why is there a discrepancy between the two?
If it really is considered raw and it's not helping you, then why should it even be an issue to not have them on bench?
Right.
Like that logic does not hold up even for a second.
No. So what is the reason that people, why did knee sleeves come to be that people wear those in raw squats?
The only thing I can think of is that knee sleeves have existed longer.
Yeah.
Elbow sleeves have been around, but I think that the origins of them probably start from knee sleeves and people wearing them on their elbows, like in strongman situations, right? Like when I think of the first time seeing what I would consider elbow sleeves, and I'm by no means the expert on this, but I just think of seeing like late 90s, early 2000s videos of guys with reband blue knee sleeves on their elbows.
Yep, for sure. But what is like when USAPL made their raw division and allowed knee sleeves to be worn? It wasn't it was basically like to keep the knee warm, right? Isn't that why they said?
I think it was just warmth, comfort, and just kind of general safety.
Yeah.
I think that's all it was. I think it's like really no different. I think their reasoning there is no different than a wrist wrap. It's just warmth, safety, longevity of a lifter.
So why then for Isn't it providing the same thing in your elbow for a bench press?
I've wondered that.
Or is the mechanics of the two lifts so different that in the case of your elbow joint in a bench, that sleeve makes so much of a difference in comparison to your knee on a squat?
Why should it though?
Yeah.
Like that, I can't follow the logic there.
Yeah.
But I'd be really curious because I'm sure some people would love to hear they could have elbow sleeves.
Well, I know a few people that would love if elbow sleeves were allowed in USAPL. Mark Bell, Reband, SBD.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. Their sales just
SBD,
double.
And if I worked for SBD, I would be or any of those companies, I would be petitioning so hard to be like, come on, guys. Like,
because whether the lifters and other people wanted it to be legal or not, as soon as the day it is, there's not going to be anyone benching not wearing them.
Well, why wouldn't
just
if you're allowed to have a piece of equipment that could potentially help you, why wouldn't you want it?
Right.
And if you could potentially get them as small as you possibly could and still put them on, why wouldn't you, right?
So what is the reason that it's not then? Just because it hasn't been, so it's not?
All I can think of, the only thing that makes sense to me is it's just a historical thing.
Yeah.
Elbow sleeves weren't, because did SBD even have their elbow sleeves 10 years ago? Or
probably not. No, I'm guessing. I think it's like
SBD didn't exist right away. It was basically it was kind of just like Reband.
And maybe Titan made like something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a lot of players in town with that, and there's still not today either. But
I think it's like an interesting. I mean, like I said, by the time you're listening or hearing this,
I'd actually be really curious if someone has a reason for us.
Well, that's this. And when we post this, I'm going to make sure that all the heavy benchers out there that I can, I'm going to tag as many of them as possible and try to get their feedback. And I'll be curious to hear what a lot of them say about it. I'm going to tag USAPL and
I'm even a little surprised. Like, I get that IPF doesn't because they're the slowest and last on everything.
Yeah.
But I'm still a little surprised that like even USPA or RPS or like one of these just random federations, or just I shouldn't say random, just one of these other federations doesn't allow it.
Well, and I could see
because they allow hats and all types of stuff.
Right, and I could see even USPA saying no, but then maybe like RPS and SPF and some of them being like, yeah, let's wear them. You guys might bench 20 more pounds,
Yeah, if you can have more bench press world record holders in your division or your federation, like why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
Maybe no one's thought of it before. Yeah. We're the first ones that ever come up with this.
I mean, I'm sure people have thought about it, but when you think about it, I think you have to think about it in comparison to the knee sleeve, and that's what really makes you be like, huh.
Yeah, it's kind of like if this is legal,
then
this should also be legal.
Right.
Like it just doesn't follow at all.
It doesn't. But I'm sure people out there will have some logical reasons why it shouldn't. I just don't. And
it also brings up the argument of, if this is raw powerlifting, why do we
that's
cover
the thing,
every part of our body in gear now?
Well, but that's that is the question. But then, like, why our knee sleeve?
I know. Well, yeah. So yeah, it turns into a thing. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Wrist straps, belt, knee sleeves,
elbow
sleeves. I guess that's kind of it. But still, it's a lot of stuff for raw powerlifting, and I don't think that having wrist straps adds 20 pounds to your bench.
That's what I was gonna say. All those things you named, I don't think any of them make.
It's a comfort. Like for me, really, if you had said you can only use wrist straps for one lift, I would pick it for squat over bench. Like I feel like it's more comfortable to squat in my position, kind of a low bar with elbows or with I keep saying elbows with wrist straps than it is than bench. I don't really notice it much in benching, but because they're allowed, why not?
Right. And at a certain point, it's just the routine. I wear them because
it's just
I wear
them. It's
like
kind of part of your how you get ready and just what you do.
Right. But I often wonder to myself, what are the wrist straps doing?
I'm sure once you get to 500, it's probably it's probably more obvious than when it's not. But when I'm repping things out on my best day in the low 300s, high 200s, I strap them on tight, but I don't know if that's really making a difference at all.
I suppose at the end of the day, it feels more comfortable and you're less likely for injury. That's how I feel about knee sleeves in the squat. It feels better, and it just like they originally came for. It keeps your knees warmer. It feels better. So I don't know if that's really less likely for injury though or not, but it does feel better.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or when they start allowing those big like reband belts that strongmen wear underneath their normal belt. Like, is that going to happen ever? Because the day that happens, that's like when your little lifters are literally a belt. Like, because those things are so big, you know.
Entire torso.
Yeah, you're just all neoprene and leather. That's all you are.
But you know, Mark Bell would be like, yes.
Well, he'd be an idiot not to though. And I mean, he's kind of a bench guy anyways.
Right,
so
right.
It actually makes perfect sense for him.
Yeah.
Like if Mark Bell could start a powerlifting lobbyist group, like he'd have guys right there like petitioning to get that thing going.
Yep. What do you think about talking about our stat of the week here? We do have a open powerlifting stat of the week.
Is it educational?
Yes, it is.
Is it eye-opening?
It's a good one. I think you're going to like it. And a lot of times we do the thing where I give you the what it's about, and you know, I kind of shoot it to you to give me a guess. This will be a good one for that, I think.
All right, hit me.
All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is average body weight. And just to recap, this is the open powerlifting stat of the week on the Massenomics podcast. First part of the stat, we're going to look at average body weight of male competitors, all male competitors in the database, which is 629,638.
Wow.
If a lifter's done 8 meets, then they're in there 8 times. You know, they're getting counted
So every
in that
entry
way.
is in.
Yeah. So what do you think is the average weight in pounds of? This is all equipment, all federations.
Yep. I'm gonna guess about 198 pounds.
That's really close. It's above the 200 mark. It
is
201.83.
Okay.
Is the average of everyone in their database. So the average is over 200 pounds. That's fairly heavy.
It is fairly heavy. I thought even the 198 might have been a tad heavy when I saw that one.
It does seem heavy to me.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. You get the 400-pound guys that they really make up. I mean, that's like 3 of the little guys.
Right,
you know?
That's true. All right, now looking at female, there are 187,120 entries. What do you think that this is going to be way harder? I mean, for me, the female is infinitely times harder to guess because I don't even know.
I don't. You could like line up 10 women, and I'd probably be off by 30 pounds on every one,
and upset most of them.
Offend every one of them because I'm so bad at guessing weight. Average female weight.
Yeah.
135.
150.04.
Oh, okay.
So that was a little higher than what.
Yeah.
What your guess was there too, but there again, I don't know. That's just really for the men. I feel like we have context and can
been following up and been around enough, but wow, okay.
So those are the weights. Before we get to the next half of the stat, I would say kind of higher than what I would have guessed.
The men one is a little believable. The women, like I said, you could have said 120, I'd have been like, yeah. You could have said 160, and I'd have been like, I suppose too.
And I guess the most populated weight classes for men are usually like someone that would weigh 200 pounds, like that weight class.
I feel like it's between 180 and 220 is where most of your guys fall.
And the average of that 180, 220 is 200, so that kind of makes sense.
Wow, do you have a calculator in your brain or something, Tanner?
Basically. Yeah, pretty much. So now we covered weight. Now we're going to look at age. And first we're going to start with the men. And for the men age, there's only the weight. There were 600 and some thousand entries.
Wait, is this average, mean, or median?
Average.
Oh, see, I was going mean on the last. That's what threw me off.
This is mode.
Oh, classic mix-up.
Yeah. For the age, there's only 400,000 in the database because not everyone reports the age. But what do you guess for age?
Age. I'm gonna think.
I'm pretty sure I know which side of the coin you're gonna.
I'm thinking early to mid 20s. I'm gonna say 24.
It is. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You're not gonna believe it.
Let me hear it.
31.93.
Really? For the average age?
Yeah. 31.93. That is how old I am right now. I am like 31.93 years old, something like that today. So the average age of the powerlifters is me, which
You're just totally average. Too.
Yeah.
See, that's surprising.
So basically 32 years old is the average.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. I don't know. It's like you could say that not all age data is collected anyways.
Right. So maybe
that already
maybe the federations that aren't collecting versus the ones that are.
So that could skew it, and then also the results, depending on what they are, if they're more historical numbers, could just be older people. Like assuming that maybe newer ones aren't collecting it as much, or because it's safe to say that that powerlifting is growing in popularity.
Yeah.
So more diverse people would get in more recently, but also that would say that we're bringing the number up too. So that doesn't really hold up. I don't know. That's surprising. That one is surprising.
Yeah, and my guess was that you were gonna guess young on that one because that was my first.
I was actually like
32.
Oh, it's probably pretty. I was at first gonna say like 18.
Yeah, that's
because I feel like when I go to meets, I see a lot of really young people.
I don't feel like I see a lot of,
I feel like you see a couple old people.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah. That one's surprising.
All right, average female age, and this is out of 141,000.
28.
31.18. Yeah. Slightly about a year less on the.
That was a trick question. You didn't get me there. Okay.
No, it's 31 again.
That's, I guess.
Yeah, it just seems it seems weird to say that it is old because it's how old basically about, in the ballpark of how old we are.
Uh-huh.
But I just feel like, I don't know, it's weird.
It is
Maybe
what
there's
it
a
is.
lot of masters lifters, like same way with the weights. If you say 350-pound guys are really bringing up the average, maybe there's a good number of 55-year-old.
There must be. Well, here's the other thing, too. Your first meet is always your youngest meet, obviously.
Right.
And then as you compete more, you're only adding more to that number.
Right.
I don't know how well that holds up, but
that's kind of tricky to wrap your mind around. Even it's, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the longer that people stay in the sport, obviously,
Yeah, it's gonna get more entries, and they're bigger numbers too, so they're only gonna bring that average up.
Right. Yeah. So that's the Open Powerlifting Stat of the Week on the Massenomics podcast. Presented to us by Open Powerlifting and delivered by us, the Massenomics podcast.
Thank you, Open Powerlifting.
Yeah, another sweet stat of the week.
Another real brain buster.
I did like that one though. That
one did catch me off guard a little bit there.
Old people, big old people.
Old people.
Yeah. Who needs them?
This weekend I got to run through a gym that I have never been to before.
Oh, I did. That's right. You did send a.
So I was in Phoenix this weekend. We talked about this very briefly on the last podcast, and seeing some family down there. And one of the people said, "Oh, Tommy, I want to show you my gym," because people, this guy obviously wants to know what gyms look like,
And so he knew that you're into gyms, and you're kind of a connoisseur of gyms.
It was actually a lady member of the family.
Oh, she knew you were into gyms.
Yeah, she knew I was into gyms and stuff. So she's like, "I want to show you." Okay, and I had no idea what the gym is. So we go down the road, and there's this massive building, and it's a Lifetime Fitness.
Okay.
And
I've never been in a Lifetime.
I'm aware of what Lifetime is. It's a very large chain in gyms.
Bigger than the Massenomics gym franchise.
Slightly bigger than Massenomics, but I don't think they have as big of a podcast presence as we do. So
I bet you're right.
I would also bet that our Instagram is way more entertaining than theirs.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
So we pull up to the gym, and I'm like, yeah, this is a very nice facility. Like, it's right away impressive from the outside. Get in, and it immediately has your commercial gym. Okay, this is what blew me away. And this is just, we're lucky enough to not have this, but you walk in, and it literally feels like every, fitness supplement thing that they can sell you exists in the lobby. Like, just stands of supplements right off of the main desk is a huge, kitchen, where they're making shakes and whatever, peddling their goods, whatever those are. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see how this is already.
So you sat down and had a shake.
I'm like, my people. So
Daddy's home.
I was a little surprised by just how hard they're pushing the supplement game there. And that's just how naive I am to the greater fitness industry. And the next red flag was you go down the stairs, and the gym is upstairs, and there's a sign at the stairs that says no duffel bags allowed. And that's the other one immediately
What?
that says no duffel bags allowed.
What?
The only bags allowed upstairs are cinch packs.
Oh my god!
So that was the other one. It was like, wow. And then
that's right there. It's
like,
something that just I feel like is
feels
like blasphemous.
It goes against like having, and I get, you don't want
Yeah.
to have people with massive gym bags everywhere, but I don't know. Is it really that much of an issue?
Yeah.
But apparently it is.
But
So then
that's like the culture that
it is. It is the culture, totally.
Yeah.
And then you go upstairs, and this is like where I realized, like, whoa, is the sheer number of cardio machines is
Yeah.
like, we get like some fitness books, like when you have to order parts, like we'll get a
Yeah.
book down in the
Yeah.
gym of, buy this treadmill
right.
for $12,000 or whatever the hell they are.
And they have a line of 40 of them.
And they have a line of 40 of them, and it's not just a line, it's like 20 rows
Rows,
deep. Like, it's
yeah.
just rows and rows and rows and rows, like, and it just goes. And I didn't walk around the whole upstairs, so I don't know if there was an extensive free weight area. I couldn't find any free weights for I saw actually an extensive row of Smith machines even. I'm not going to be the guy that says Smith machines are the worst thing ever. For some people, they probably have their place, but
yeah.
I couldn't find any free weights from the area I was standing in. So
you weren't going to lift. You were just
no, it was literally just
exploratory.
purely
yeah.
someone was like, "Hey, you need to just come see
Yeah.
what this." So I went and saw it, and very nice facility.
Yeah.
It's well kept.
So it was bigger than Massenomics Gym, or
I would say
Or about the
I
same.
can easally say that the locker room costs more than Massenomics Gym has in it, and all of its stuff tied. Like, and actually, the locker room easily has more square footage than the entire gym too. You
Yeah.
know? It's just a whole other.
So was there tons and tons of people working out in there? Or?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I suppose it
that was
depends
what
on
I
the
could,
time.
and it's a big place, but the parking lot was pretty full. It was a Sunday morning after Thanksgiving. Maybe people are kind of trying to get on their
Yeah.
New Year's resolution a little early, but the parking lot was fairly full. Even the person I went with was like, "Oh, you're normally not this full on a
Yeah.
Sunday morning." But even when I got inside, didn't see a lot of people. But they have outdoor pool, indoor pool,
Yeah.
multiple basketball courts, racquetball. I mean, people were probably everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
sure. So
I wonder what did you
supplement
did they say
superstores.
what a membership costs?
I
there?
think it was fairly cheap. I want to say like around 60-ish a month.
Yeah.
Like not bad,
Yeah.
but
I'm sure they just have such a mass number of members, and so many that
a
don't
place
come.
like that has to have thousands of
Yeah.
especially in a bigger market. Like
Right.
I can't imagine how many members they have that
d-
don't go.
Maybe the
I would love to
over-under
see
is
the
like
sheet.
3 times
I would
that they're there
I would
a year.
love to see the sheet for the number of members, active members, that have not scanned in the last 3 months. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's like an insulting number.
Yeah, I
and
bet
they're
it
probably
is.
like, yeah, cha-ching, baby.
Yes.
But it's
So you said this is my kind of place.
I'm sure for some people, and any gym I still don't think
Yeah.
$60 is an unreasonable amount for almost any
no,
gym. Like
especially if you're getting what you want.
if it's a hobby of yours and you pay $60 a month, like how many hobbies are $60 a month?
Well, and
Like,
especially regardless of what kind of training and stuff you're into, it's like one of the something you do that's hopefully going to make you healthy. Better in some
it's
way.
an investment. It's not
Yeah.
just purely an expense. But,
Right.
After going through, I can safely say that that's not a place for me. It's just it ain't for me.
Did it? Could you have?
And it's been so long that I've been in one of those
Yeah.
situations that it's kind of like, oh, like it's
Yeah.
just like a real eye opener.
Could you have gone? Say there was an area with a squat rack and stuff. Like, could you have gone through? Do you think you could be in the routine of going through all that stuff and like getting there and being like, all right, now I'm going to.
I think I would have just been like, kind of just. I mean, I could have got a workout in if
Yeah.
I had to. I think I would have just been so weirded out the whole time. Like, it's just like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
there was a really big open area, and there was like 6 people that were kind of like just doing like body weight squats. And
Yeah.
they were kind of hanging out. It was
Yeah.
a pretty chill session, whatever they were doing. But it was interesting. You forget those exist, and you
Yeah.
also forget that is the majority. When Americans say gym, when the person says going to the gym, that's what they have in mind, and it's
Yeah.
so far from like, to me that's like not even the same sport. Like it's like if someone says I'm going to play basketball and they go like play like you're 6'10" and you go play with a bunch of middle school kids on like a
right.
an 8-foot hoop. I'm like, well, that's not really the sport. That's not
Right.
really the game we're doing here. But
Because if someone to me says going to the gym, I picture.
like you're like being like
Yeah.
like you're going in, you're focused, you're doing work,
Yeah.
like you have a game plan, and I get it. If you're staying healthy, I'm not gonna knock it. Like
No,
powerlifting
that's-
is not for everyone.
Right.
It shouldn't be for everyone, but It's just a whole different lifestyle. It's eye-opening.
Yeah.
Even a little entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is we really need to start that supplement superstore in the entryway.
I think we've got room in the entryway. We could put up a rack of
a rack of blenders.
Yeah.
Where they're just cooking up shakes all day.
Sometimes I bring like all the old samples that I have sitting in my cabinet and
just
set
start
them on the
mixing
counter.
them all together.
Well, I set them on the counter and say free supplements.
So now we need to start charging for those.
Yeah. That's for the 5-year-old rock hard nitric oxide booster or something
something that's really going to take your workout to the next level. I also got to do one other thing while I was down there, and I feel like I got to run through the whole story because did you ever watch the show Black Mirror on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen it.
So Black Mirror is one of my all-time favorite shows, and just for the fact that it's so like not that far away. Like it's a creepy version of the future where technology definitely has its ups, but in almost every episode, like the way technology creeps into your life kind of ends up being the downfall of you or the situation. Like,
are you saying it's not that outside of what?
No, it's. I mean, some of the episodes, like you can look it up online. I mean, some of the episodes are literally happening, right? Like one of the episodes, it's fairly like it was talked about a decent amount was kind of like a social currency, where everything you do on a daily basis, every interaction you have with someone, you get ranked.
Yeah.
Not too different than Instagram. You know, people are giving you thumbs up, thumbs down, and based on your social currency, if you have a higher social currency score, your apartments and housing are cheaper. You have more opportunities. You have more job opportunities.
Yeah.
Like I mean, your whole social world, everything, not just social, your actual money you pay for things is directly influenced by this. And actually, China has now done something. Like China's in the process of doing this to the point where like people with low enough scores aren't allowed to leave the country, not allowed to get like plane tickets. So like you're starting to see like the real things that like there are things coming to life from this.
Yep.
And you can watch any episode, and if you're with anyone that's halfway intelligent, you could, when it's done, look at each other and have a pretty good moral debate about where we're going with things and what's going to happen, because these are all realistic things. But anyway, so lots of common thing in all the episodes is like self-driving cars. You know, we're not going to be driving in the future. I think most people agree on that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty popular. So the first thing that happens when we touch down is there's these. We're going to the house, and there's this van, and it has all of these cameras on top, like LiDAR, radar, all their little things on the corners, on the back, on the front, and it has this decal on it. And it says Waymo. And I've never heard of this, and apparently it's a big like self-driving thing. I think it's kind of limited more to the Phoenix market right now, but it's a self-driving van, and like there was a guy sitting behind the wheel, but they're like, yeah, he doesn't do anything. He just sits there in the van, goes where it goes. And I guess there was a recently the van hit and killed someone.
Yeah.
And so it was a big, and I totally missed that. I totally missed that.
Yeah.
And so I guess they were just getting back on the street, and even our Lyft driver, which that in itself is, you use your phone, have someone take you somewhere in your Lyft. And I mean, that in itself is a whole thing that didn't exist essentially 5 years ago.
Yep.
But Lyft driver's like, oh, I didn't know those were back. Well, on our way to the gym that next morning, you know, in the car, a total round trip, probably in the car, a little over 10 minutes. I think I saw like 6 of those things. I'm like, oh, these are really taking over.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of cool. Whatever's going on. So that's one part of it. Then we go down by ASU later that day, and
is that by the University of Phoenix?
it's more by Arizona State University. But technically it's not super far from it. But, so we go down by ASU, and are you familiar with bird scooters?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So I was just subjected to these when I went to San Diego this summer.
Are they the scooters that you drive around and just leave wherever?
Yep, just leave wherever.
You know how I'm familiar
South
with
Park?
them? Yes, through
Yep,
South
yep,
Park.
yep.
Okay.
There's a
I didn't
South
know the word bird.
Yeah,
Scooter,
there's a few.
Yeah.
There's like bird, lime. There's a couple different ones.
And it's like in South Park they're just like multiplying everywhere.
But that is the thing. That is the thing.
Everywhere.
Is, like down
Where
by
are these scooters
down by
coming from?
campus, there's people on these things everywhere, and I'm like, it's like college. They're going like these are little scooters, and they're going too deep on these things, and you know, like everyone's drunk on them, like just flying around. And yeah, outside of bars, they're just piled up deep. Well, it's like, okay, yeah, watching the things go by, and we kind of make our way around campus. The game was going on, so there's a lot of people out.
Did you use one at all? Or?
So we were at this bar, and they were like, we are like 10 blocks from the car. And in front of while we're sitting on the patio, there's no lie, probably 25 birds sitting there. Like, we should probably take those. So there was like 10 of us.
Are they attached to any? Like,
no,
you just get on
it's
them.
Just a kickstand.
And you scan
so this
your
is the
card.
thing. So yeah, we all sit there, and again, to like be like, man, we are living in the future right now. It's like, okay, take out your phone, download the Bird app. It has to scan your driver's license, so you take a picture of the front and back of your driver's license, so it has that recorded, and then, enter your credit card details like any app that has to charge you.
Yeah.
And then on the Bird scooters, like on the top by the handlebars, there's a little QR code, which is like a little barcode.
Yeah.
The app has you scan that.
I thought QR codes were dead.
I actually think they kind of are making a little bit of a comeback.
Okay.
We'll see on that one, but they are used for this, and I think actually your iPhone now by default recognizes them when you pull out the camera. Like, you don't need a separate app, but you pull out you get the app out, you scan it, immediately says it's $1 to start, and I think it's 15 cents per minute is how it charges you after that. Which
it's not very much.
Which isn't bad, and so we're like, okay, and you get on. And you basically, like when you push on a skateboard, you need to give it about 2 or 3 good pushes to get the momentum going. Because I'm sure that's when it uses the most energy, is to start up. And then once you're going, you hit the throttle and it just takes off. And it's like, this is so fun.
So it's battery powered?
They're all
But
electric.
when do they get charged?
We'll get to that
that's
part.
We'll get to that part.
Yeah. So you give it like 2 or 3 good pushes, hit the throttle, and you're going. And it's like, man, I'm having so much fun. Like, I haven't been on a scooter in like so long, and you're just flying around and you're like going through these blocks, and all your friends are weaving in and out. It's like scooter gangs in full effect.
Yeah.
And you're just like, pretty soon we're on a side street, and we're all just doing loops around.
Does it go like 10 miles an hour?
I would say if you're lighter, it probably goes about 20.
Yeah.
I was the heaviest one, so mine was the slowest. But I feel pretty comfortable saying I think I was going 15.
Seems like there could be a safety concern.
Oh yeah, definitely, because people are like
a
flying
liability.
Around. People are flying around on the streets, and I think part of the terms of use is that you say you're using a helmet and you have a valid driver's license and all this stuff. And I'm sure most people aren't doing any. I mean, I didn't have a helmet on, but So yeah, we were having a great time with it, and yeah, it was awesome. And I had our 10 minutes of fun or whatever, and you get done, and you pull up the app and you hit end, and it says, all right, take a picture of the scooter, I think to verify that it's in working condition. And you take a picture, and I was charged $2.15. I'm like, oh, that was so worth it for $2.15. Like, and then just like that, it's like Uber on your map, on the app on the phone. It just shows everywhere that the scooters are.
So are they all over?
Oh, they're everywhere down there. And it also says when you leave it, it's like due to ASU policy, you're not allowed to leave these on campus. I don't know if you get fined. Like, the app knows that, and you get fined for doing it.
So were they on ASU campus?
No, we were just on the perimeter of it, like on the bars around it. But
what about an outside? Like, if you go far enough, can you go take it however far away you want?
I think you can go wherever you want. And so these things, you just dump them. Like, we got to the parking ramp where our car was. You put the kickstand down and leave it. I mean, I'm not some just crude.
But that happens too.
Oh,
like, drunk people are like, bleh.
There was an Instagram account, Bird Graveyard, where it was just people taking pictures of them and destroying these things. But you put the kickstand down, you leave it up. Or you put the kickstand down, leave the thing just hanging out, take your picture of it, done. And we're all like, the general consensus was like, wow, that was really cool. So now the charging part, because they're all electric, is you can be a Bird charger, and your job is you go around. And I actually had to look into this. And I might have some of these details mixed around, but the gist of it was that anytime after 10 p.m., you can go out and start picking these things up, and you take them to your house to charge them. And then in the morning, I believe they have to be dropped off anytime between like 4 and 7 a.m.
Dropped off where?
The app will tell you where to drop them off at, I believe. So it'll tell you where, and you need to drop them off in sets of 3. That the kickstand has to be down and the wheel has to be turned out, so they look, kind of presentable, like it was intentional.
So that's why they actually do
So people are, and then you get paid for doing that. And I was like, well, I mean, using electricity. The thing I read said the average Bird to charge takes 7 cents of electricity. And then you make, I think, around $5.
So did you come across any dead ones?
I did not come across any dead ones. No.
I just wonder how long they last.
Yeah, and I was even trying to watching some YouTube videos on it, and I got the impression, I think it's just to make, to cover cost on them. I think they need to be in operation for about 20 days, and at that point, the things have basically covered cost, and you're just those things are just pure money at that point.
It's another thing that because of geographically where we live, that we will never have to.
But I was almost like, this would be cool just to own one personally, because it seems fairly well built. I'm sure though they just get destroyed on the streets, and it seemed to be holding up okay. And they definitely got the power. I'm not sure if the battery lasts like an hour or 2 hours or what it is, but yeah, they were fun. So
have you seen the South Park episode?
Yeah, I actually did. That's like one of the only new ones I've seen, and it was funny because just the whole thing of like, where are they coming? Like, they just keep multiplying and multiplying.
But that's actually what it would be like.
And it was also funny because where I stayed, it was way away from ASU. It was more in. I mean, it's still Phoenix area, so it's a big city, but it's definitely more of a little bit of more of a residential vibe, and you'd still wake up in the morning and there'd be perfectly placed birds on the street corners. Like, where the hell are they coming from?
That is crazy.
But so I was like kind of reflecting back on the trip. I'm like, so we land in the airport, we pull up the app on our phone, random person picks us up, takes you to your destination. On the way there, I see this self-driving van. The next morning, I see more self-driving vans. Then I get tired of walking. I just pull up an app, download an app on my phone, get on the scooter, drive it wherever I want to. It magically charges me for my use. I walk away, and we're just like, that's the world we live in now. It's like 5 years ago, that whole conversation would have made no sense to anyone.
And you did this all on your iPhone 10.
And I did this all on my iPhone 10R.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know if my old iPhone would have made it through what I just said right there. It would have not had a good time.
Mine doesn't even let me take pictures of my kids usually.
Got to look into that, Tammy.
Yeah.
So yeah, listening to podcasts, just living my best life.
Yeah.
Me and my iPhone, just best friends going through the world.
It is kind of crazy though. Bird scooters.
So yeah, if you see one, I recommend you just.
Now that the South Park episode makes more sense to me now too, knowing that really is what it's like. Speaking of South Park, we what would that be called when you like
I mean, we were kind of visionaries ahead of our time.
You're
with
like
this.
almost like
you could even say it gave a sense of deja vu.
Yeah,
when it all happened.
But I don't know if it might have been the episode before or after the scooter.
It was
episode.
right around the same time because I guess I did see that one too.
Yeah, it came out that Man Bear Pig was back, and we had literally maybe a week before
posted
a Man Bear Pig 8-man strong versus Man Bear Pig,
and I thought. Well, Man Bear Pig hasn't existed really for 10 years now.
Like who does anyone know?
Do they reference Man Bear Pig ever really after that episode?
I don't. Not that I really know of. I think people kind of it was a pretty popular.
But that episode's probably close to 10 years old.
Yeah. So if you were like 20, you might not even ever have known what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Either
way, South Park has an episode where it's Al Gore and global warming and the internet. And
Man Bear Pig is essentially global warming because 10 years ago, a lot of people, along with I believe the people that produced South Park, did not believe that it was
the
true.
Whole thing is that, the whole argument they're basically. Because people are denying climate change. Yeah. They make this monster that people also will just dismiss, and it's like, well, if you frame it that way, it's easy to be like, well, who's going to believe a half bear, half man, half pig?
Right. But I think even part of that episode is what they're saying is the original South Park episode 10 years ago was making fun of Al Gore and saying,
yes, I think it
you're
was.
full of shit.
Yep.
And this episode is the South Park people coming out and being like, yeah, Man Bear Pig was
like
real.
Man Bear Pig is real.
Yeah, global warming was real.
They're literally
and they're
sitting
like,
in the restaurant.
We're wrong.
Yeah, that part when the guy's like sitting in the restaurant and he's like, it's just not real. Or talking about like global warming, none of it's real. She's like, Man Bear Pig's behind. Yeah, okay, none of this is real. And he keeps talking, and while Man Bear Pig is literally eating people.
And all the people are like, well, we might start to think about believing that it's real.
It is like the perfect metaphor or whatever it is for it. But I think it's safe to say that episode exists because of us. It's a known fact that South Park will produce their episodes in a few days.
Yep.
And the fact that we produce a meme with Man Bear Pig, and then a few days later, Man Bear Pig exists on South Park, someone saw our meme.
Half bear, half man, half pig.
Yep.
Even though
some people thought our fractions were wrong on that.
Yeah, they're wrong.
They're wrong. That's what it is.
That's right.
We don't make the rules up. You just have to believe.
We just follow them. What do we got? Do we got time? What are we at? Do we got time for any of our world's most famous Massenomics segments?
53 minutes.
Oh, so. I think we probably got time for some of the.
We can just cruise on a bird scooter right over to these next segments.
And we'll just leave it there. Pick it back up next week.
Do you want to talk about big lifts?
Yeah, we could talk about big lifts. The first one was Nick Best, and this was a few days ago now. Maybe it was even a week ago, but he at over 50 years old, raw, he did, an 848 squat?
Yeah.
And he also, I believe, this could be something for open powerlifting to check on, but I believe he had the largest raw total of anyone over 50 years old before.
That'd be believable.
Yeah.
If you're
and the
having
biggest
squat, it definitely gets you well on your way.
Right, and he can deadlift it. He deadlifted, I'm sure, over 800 too. So, yeah, I think the largest.
So is that raw with wraps or just
I think that was raw.
Raw, okay.
Yeah. I believe that was a squat in sleeves, but I'll give myself about 50-50 if I'm right on that. I'll put it this way: it was either in sleeves or wraps.
More than likely.
Yeah. It wasn't bare kneed, I'm pretty sure. But that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
At 50 years old.
Really impressive.
50 years old.
Did he ever do strongman?
He does. He competes in World's Strongest Man. Yeah,
right.
That's probably more so what he's known for.
I was going to say, I didn't. That's what I feel like I know him from. Was
he's
strongman.
an American. He lives in Las Vegas. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Who was the other one in big
Amanda
lifts?
Lawrence with the 560 squat.
Yeah,
and this one
she did a big deadlift.
I don't understand how, like she's not like a newbie lifter. She doesn't have newbie gains, but literally every video she's had since like leading up to USAPL Nationals
has been a PR.
Has been like a PR, and not just like a 1 pound PR every. I mean, she's like putting on like 5 pounds. 10 pounds in a month on every lift.
She deadlifted just recently. I thought it was like 6 plates or something like that, like 585.
I think so. Yeah, it was very close to that.
I think she had a PR of like,
and then I think she had a video too, like doing conventional pulls at 500. Like, I don't get how she progresses at that rate. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
I can't wrap my head around what's going on there. Why she can get that strong.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong,
she's pretty good at this sport.
Yeah. More than likely, she's stronger than you listening right now.
Yeah. Huh. Strong woman.
Very.
Made it in big lifts. Congratulations, by the way, Amanda, on making it to big lifts.
Congrats. It's good work. Keep it up. You can make it again.
Yeah.
And again and again.
Yeah.
And at the way it's going, I don't think that's unreasonable to say.
No.
Do we ever cover our comment of the week?
No, and I added a new one, but yeah, we've never done the throwback comment of the best Instagram/YouTube comment of the week. We've never done we've never read the actual throwback.
We
comment.
did. Oh yeah, we did get we got a little tied for time last time.
Yeah. So this is a throwback because we're saying it's a throwback because it's not a current comment, but it is. This is the all-time greatest.
I mean,
this is number one. If there's a Mount Rushmore of our best Instagram/YouTube comments of the week, this one would be George Washington.
It would be. Yeah.
This would be all four.
It would
just be
this
whole comment.
It'd be like the whole DC metro area with everything in it.
Yes, it would be.
So the comment. So you add $14 for a logo? Nah, I'm good with the plain ones. And it's so awesome that people have like latched onto this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this has given us so much good stuff.
And I think if you listen to the podcast, you kind of know what this is in reference to. But just in case you don't, or if this is your first time, this is in reference to our lift shorts. This is the comment that sparked the lift shorts phenomenon.
It is.
I guess as it is.
This is where it all started.
The second sentence, there's two sentences there. My favorite is the second. Nah, I'm good with the plain ones.
And I like it when people started adding in like the nah, I'm good with like the every other letter. I don't know what you actually call that, but yeah, the every other letter capitalized.
People will just randomly reply to our things.
So
won't even be the lift shorts, and they'll just say, nah, I'm good with the plain ones.
And actually, the other day my wife goes, oh, people are really mad about your shorts. I'm like, no, it's a joke. She's like, no, that person is not happy about it. I'm like, no, like,
yeah.
And if that person even was serious about it, thank you.
So that is our throw. That's the greatest ever Instagram/YouTube comment of the week.
Is.
But we did have another one.
This is good. I like this.
This was on Instagram today.
Okay.
It was on an older video of us, a video from the podcast that was on Instagram.
The comment goes, I never saw a video of you guys before. Only audio of the podcast and thought you guys were 40 to 50. I'm disappointed you aren't old dad bod powerlifters. And that's at MeHairsLife. MeHairs_life.
Yeah.
Man, sorry to disappoint.
Yeah. I replied to him. I was like, well, we're on our way. We're not getting any younger.
Every day we are getting closer.
Yeah. But no, we're not that old.
We have these old weathered voices.
Yeah, someday if we're lucky.
We've been through a lot in our time.
If we're lucky, someday we'll be 40 to 50.
Make that dream a reality. Yeah. I like that.
Good comment. That was actually a good comment. Usually these are a joke, but that was a good comment.
That was a good comment. Do we want to do over?
Yeah, we'll do the overrated, underrated.
Am I asking you these? Or?
I was going to ask you these.
Okay. Well, can you read them, or do you need to do it?
I can maybe pull it up on mine too. I can even read them from there.
Okay.
I mean, you'll see them.
I'm not looking. No, I'm gonna come into this with fresh.
So this is our overrated, underrated, or overrated segment. Just a few quick, hard-hitting questions. Some have to do with lifting, some do not.
In case you're confused on how you should feel about certain things, we'll make up the decision for you.
So overrated or underrated? Christmas music.
Overrated. Overrated. So hard.
I feel like that's probably pretty.
I am okay, and people will probably not like this. I am okay with Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," which is probably the most overplayed of all of them. I'm fine with that one for whatever reason. All the other ones, like, yeah, I get it. It's a Christmas song. I don't care about them.
I went to the movie theater for the first time in like 4 years and saw The Grinch with my 7-year-old son. I was this close to being fully asleep during it. Like,
not that.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was dark and
very comfortable. Yeah. There was minimal screaming.
There's a few parts that made me laugh on The Grinch.
Okay.
Underrated or overrated? Christmas lights on the exterior of your house.
Oh, I'm saying so overrated because I don't play that game.
Me either.
The new thing now is the little projectors that light up on your. Which is like
I did agree. We do have one of those. I can handle that.
I totally get because it's like the laziest attempt at Christmas lights ever. Like, I want lights, but I don't want anything associated with the work of Christmas lights.
Bingo.
So I'll just put this thing that just sprays light all over my walls to show people how festive I am.
It's kind of tacky, I would say, and it's what I have.
I'm not saying Christmas lights aren't tacky in general.
Excellent point.
I mean, not very many times that just throwing lights all over something is considered, that looks really good. It's like you just threw lights all over.
Yeah, you put lights on all the straight lines of your house.
Oh, the genius here.
Overrated or underrated? Lifting chalk.
I'm going to say overrated because I think most people do not use it responsibly and use it in a way that they think is counterproductive to the chalk in the first place.
Yes.
Like chalking up the bar, completely caking their hands, like getting it on everything. Like, as far as grip, like
more isn't
the
better.
point of chalk is to assist your grip.
Yeah.
And most of those things that I just described do not assist your grip. They hinder it. So most people are just too
caking
stupid.
the knurling of the bar full of chalk.
Yeah. Oh, this knurling isn't biting hard enough. Let's fill in the cracks, smooth it out, and then it'll be better. So chalk is overrated.
Peeve of mine, as a matter of fact.
It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Chalk is overrated because most people don't know how to use it.
Right. Chalk is good. You're still saying chalk is a good thing.
Oh, chalk
it's just
is a
matter
great
of
thing.
using it correctly.
Yeah, most people just don't know how to use it.
Right. Overrated or underrated? iPhone portrait mode.
This is a hard one for me because
how you like.
Because I'm a camera guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say underrated because it's only gonna get better. It's almost all software driven. It's only gonna get better. If it makes more pleasing photos for the world, who am I to judge?
Mm-hmm.
But the purist in me says it kind of does. The purist in me says no. You should learn how to use a real camera and do it. But that's never going to happen. And so I guess if this gives the world more pretty pictures to look at and gets more people into photography, it's a win. So I'll say underrated.
All right. Overrated or underrated? The new Massenomics sweatshirts.
Ooh, underrated hard.
Severely underrated.
Oh, man, yeah. And to see how underrated they are, you should definitely buy one so that you can experience it firsthand and have that little hidden gem make all your friends jealous.
Let's get them so popular that they actually become overrated.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Once you go into that Lifetime Fitness and they're next to the supplement stand, you'll know they're overrated.
Yeah. Last and possibly the most important on this list, underrated or overrated, Jaeger bombs.
Okay, 5 years ago I would have said overrated for sure.
Because you're saying 5 years ago they were more.
They were like
popular.
everywhere. Yeah. I can't remember the last time someone ordered a Jaeger bomb. Like, you don't even see signs for them anymore. Typically.
And do you say Jaeger bomb?
I say
or
Jaeger bomb.
Me too, but when I was just to make sure I was spelling that right, everyone was like Jaeger bomb, and I don't.
But I am going to say overrated still because they were probably too popular for too long, and I don't like paying $8 for a shot that is only a little bit liquor and then just drink. Like really expensive energy drink. Like you're just ripping yourself off so hard. Yeah. And around here we have something which is even more watered down.
The Chuck Norris.
We have a Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
The Midwest has Chuck Norris shots.
Yep.
And Chuck Norris is McGillicuddy's. Dr. McGillicuddy's. I don't know what flavor.
Blue ice.
Well, yeah, I don't know what flavor Dr. McGillicuddy's because there are multiple
the Dr.
flavors.
I was thinking the
the energy drink.
liquid ice.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah.
The flavor,
cherry.
Is that what it is?
It's cherry Dr. McGillicuddy's.
Cherry Dr. McGillicuddy's. This is prepared the same way as any bomber
Which is like a liqueur.
Yeah, it's like 15%.
Right.
Maybe 20. But either way, it's not regular liquor, which is, okay, you're already getting ripped off.
No, I think it's technically a liqueur because it's so low alcohol by volume. Yeah.
So you buy that, and then instead of Red Bull like your Yag Bomb, this is liquid ice energy drink, which I think also only exists in the Midwest. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone drink one.
Carrying around a liquid
I've never seen anyone actually have one besides with liquor. Like, that can be the only reason their business exists is because it's in conjunction with liquor.
I want to know if they got into the...
it was a smart marketing move, whoever was.
Or if I bet they stumbled into it, though.
Oh, it had to have been an accident,
were trying to
but
just
then
make
they heard about it, and they like pushed that hard on all the bars. They made posters and just gave every bar a free poster for Chuck Norris shots.
I can't remember where I was the first time that I found out that, because like you said, around here, there was a period of time where that's what everyone ordered.
It was like right when I turned 21.
Was getting a shot, it was
I'm
Chuck
fairly
Norris's.
certain that was a lot of people's first bomber
shot.
No,
we got the ingredients for that and made them, and we bought the cups
bottle,
that are, and we just would make those.
Yeah, it wasn't unusual to see at parties. Like
because
people always had those at house parties.
We'd have like 5-6 of those, then go out because you're loaded on energy drink.
Yeah, you've had at least an energy drink. You've had like 5 shots of kind of alcohol that isn't strong enough to even offset the energy drink. So you're riding at least a caffeine buzz.
Yeah, it's really a caffeine buzz.
But those.
But I couldn't believe that it wasn't. I went somewhere else,
and
and I was like, "What do you mean? Like you don't like a Chuck Norris? Like why? I have to explain this? Like everyone has them everywhere."
Nope, but they still cost the same as basically a Yag Bomb. So yeah, you're paying like. I mean, in the smaller towns, $5 or $6 for like the shot with no alcohol.
Yeah.
Go to a bigger city, you're paying like $8, $10 for a shot that is. I mean, if it's 15%, it's essentially a shot of wine, and you just paid money for that.
Yeah.
So
it's more of an experience.
Yeah,
though.
I just think drinks with energy drinks in them, alcohol with energy drinks, to me are for the most part overrated.
Yeah.
I think the only acceptable place is...
What about a vodka Red Bull?
I was going to say the only acceptable one is vodka Red Bulls while in Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're acceptable outside of that. That's totally allowed there. But yeah, you don't want to be putting down like 6 vodka Red Bulls. Like, what's your end game here?
There isn't one. If you got 6 vodka Red Bulls, it's never ending.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there doesn't have to be an end game.
That does it on the most hard hitting segments in all of podcasts.
I like that.
Yeah. I guess we'll wrap it up. What do we got to tell you? We want you to subscribe on YouTube. We pump out all these podcast videos on YouTube. You can watch them all in their entirety there. You can see for yourselves that we're not 40 to 50 yet.
I maybe still won't know that, though, by looking at us.
You could subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and also leave us a 5-star review. And as long as I'm talking about 5-star reviews, I'm going to read you one as an example that came in here. Title is not 6 stars, and this is from Powerlifter 50. 5 out of 5 stars. Title is not 6 stars, but he gave us 5 out of 5 stars. This content is quality 5-star podcast. The content is light and refreshing. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better strength-related content from another podcast. I can't, in good confidence, give them 6 stars, though. For one, 6 stars are not an option on the Apple Podcast app. Secondly, if you go to the Massenomics website, you'll find they have the audacity to put their logo on items such as shorts, shirts, and banners. They sell these items at marked up price that I just can't stand beside. I'll wear my gym clothes with no logo and hang my blank banners on my walls. Thank you very much.
Hey, he's taking a hard stance, but who can fault him for it?
No, that's fair. So leave us one of those reviews just like that one, and we'll gladly read it on air. Like us on Facebook. We pump out all the podcasts on Facebook as well, and then some of our merchandise deals we put out on there. Sign up for our newsletter when you're on our website.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that because we are going to have, some emails going out here, and then also some hints for some new stuff dropping will be in there too.
Yeah. What about this? I just thought of this right now for our listeners that have made it to what minute are we on?
1 hour 9 minutes. 69 minutes.
So this podcast will come out on this Monday. It'll be like December 2nd, maybe the 3rd. I think it's December 3rd.
That sounds about right.
Whatever this Monday is that the podcast comes out, you could get 15% off any order from Massenomics.com.
Hot dang.
And you could use the promo code Massenomics Podcast. But this will only be good for Monday, so if you're listening to this on Tuesday, you screwed up.
Yep.
So you need to start subscribing to the Massenomics Podcast and listening to it when it comes out. So this will just be good for one day.
Little secret.
Yeah.
Little reward for the true fans that come 70 minutes deep with us.
Let me say that again, because I did just literally this.
Just popped in my head. Words.
Yeah. 15% off any order from Massenomics.com. Promo code Massenomics Podcast.
Do you have to spell those words correctly?
Is that would that be a challenge? Should we make? Do we?
Nah. If you got to figure that out.
Yeah. If you.
And it's all one word.
Massenomics Podcast.
Caps do not matter.
Nope.
I don't think.
Nope. So they don't matter.
Just one word. Massenomics Podcast.
And it'll be good for Monday. I think December 3rd.
Whatever that first Monday in
is.
December is.
All right. So that's official.
Awesome.
It's been decided.
I'm excited.
Yep. We'll see what happens.
Buy, all the stuff
yeah,
so no one else can.
I'm going to take advantage of that. And then our Instagram handles. Tommy, what do you got?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
Check out the official Massenomics Instagram page at Massenomics. We'll catch you next week.
Later.
You just heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears. You're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.